Hobby Shoemaker Andrew Calvano, Tournament Talk on the Tournament Edge for Monday, December 26th. It's Santa Anita Race 8. It's the big one, Andrew. It's the Grade 1 Malibu. 7 furlongs on the dirt for 3-year-olds, a field of 10. We've got co-favorites here. Sharp Azteca, and it's the 4-horse 10 Blessings for Bob Baffert. Sharp Azteca's the Jorge Navarro horse. Zayas shipping from Gulfstream. And understandably so, seeing fit to follow Sharp Azteca wherever this horse goes. Look, you know I have a soft spot in my heart for Sharp Azteca. You made me quite a bit of money on Kentucky Derby Day and did it in very impressive fashion. After that, Andrew, I thought the horse may have caught lightning in a bottle, but that's not the case. This horse comes back November 19th at Laurel Park and just looked like a monster. Beat a good field that day. That was Laurel's big day. Wins that race by 5 1/4 and gets a 1:28 time form U.S. speed figure. I think is the most talented horse in this field at this distance. I think is the horse to beat. I think 10 Blessings is the odds that he is because of the connections with Baffert and Bejarano, I do believe. But at the end of the day, this win goes through Sharp Azteca, but I am indeed going to try to beat the horse. But nonetheless, your thoughts on the two favorites in this race, and who do you think has the edge between those two?
Without a doubt, Bob. And I would also like to mention that we missed number 2, Mind Your Biscuits here.
Okay.
At 5 and 2. But
okay, my apologies.
No, Bob, don't worry about us. We're all together here. We got a 5 and 2 and 2 3 to 1. So
that's right.
Let's talk about. They're all in the same price range here. So
right.
let's go down by them 1, 2, 3. Starting with Mind Your Biscuits. You guys know me. I'm a big Naira guy. I was heavy on this horse in the Amsterdam, a big single that day for me, and that led to an eventual pick 5 hit. Very much a fan of this horse. Drawing the rail here, this one does not have too much early speed, and that's going to be a problem here. This one's actual last time out, the Breeders' Cup Sprint, as a 3-year-old, last time out was very, very impressive to run up and finish third that race here. But the lack of early speed and pinned on the rail at a track like this is going to be a very difficult task. Now, at a higher price, I would love this horse because I know everything about this horse. But at 5 and 2, I got to play against this one. Now let's go into 10 Blessings. I'm also a very big fan of this horse. The rumor has it that this one is a freak show in the morning. But very surprised at this one being 3 to 1 with a lack of experience in a group like this. Now, obviously, you have Bob Baffert horses like this time and time again who post a 106 buy or something incredible.
Right.
And then they take a big step up to a grade 1. And now, it is what it is. They're 3 to 1. I think you can make an argument that the other 2 Bob Baffert horses should be 3 to 1 as well.
Right.
So I'd rather take, in that situation, I'd rather take a Bob Baffert horse with higher odds and more experience than a horse like this. But I do think this is a very, very, very sharp horse to look out for the future in 10 Blessings. Then we have Sharp Azteca. For this horse being 5 and 2 last time out was ridiculous. I watched that race. I had that horse to win. That horse should have never been 5 and 2. Wins on like this horse was 1 to 9. 1 to 9 would have been like gift at that point. 2 back in I guess that's Louisiana Downs. A very quirky track. I'm not really sure how credible or how much this really won light to it, but he did lose to a very strong horse in Texas Chrome. 3 back in the Woody Stevens. I think it was all up, the whole race was up against him that day. And he faced some very strong horses in Tom's Ready and Fish Trap Road and Star Hill. Those horses may not win a lot, but those are very, very strong horses that run against very, very tough company year-round, especially when they get to the Saratoga meets. So I think Sharp Azteca out of that are probably is obviously the most classiest horse, but I think this one may be up against it today from a pace perspective. Now, you thought that on Pat Mile Day anyway, and look what the horse did. So either way, I think 3 to 1 a Sharp Azteca. Realistically, this one should be the post-time favorite. Like California bettors are smart people, and I think they'll realize that Mind Your Biscuits from the inside draw is just not a smart play. So from the 3 favorites, if I had to choose one of the 3 favorites, it'd be Sharp Azteca. But I actually am very intrigued by 10 Blessings, just not at the price.
Yeah, I loved your synopsis, Andrew, and I think you're spot on. For me, as I mentioned before, I think Sharp Azteca is the most talented horse in this race. But at that price and shipping, and with other speed, I think the horse is going to really have to earn it. And I'm not saying that he can't. He proved again on Kentucky Derby Day at Churchill Downs that pace is really not a factor for that horse. but I am going to try to beat this horse, and I'm going to go ahead and give you my top selection here. I'm going to go with More Spirit off of a huge layoff. Bob Baffert and Mike Smith, that combination from an ROI standpoint speaks for itself. He looks to be in great shape, Andrew. I mean, look at that last workout, December 21st. 4 furlongs in 46, 1 of 40 that day. Baffert off a layoff is nothing. Just look at Arrogate. That's one of many examples that we know that Baffert can win right off the layoff. And look, this is not a prep for something else. Bob Baffert does not put horses in Grade 1 stakes races for preps. I think he looked at the PPs or looked at the entry and said, look, there could be a lot of speed in here and More Spirit, although I think the mile distance is really what this horse wants to do, and I think eventually will go to that mile. There's nothing wrong with 7 furlongs if you get a pace to run into, and I think that is a big possibility today, and maybe Sharp Azteca is so good he overcomes it, but I'm going to take a shot here with Bob Baffert and Mike Smith with More Spirit at 6-1 morning line.
And Bob, we did it again. I'm definitely on the same horse as you here with More Spirit. And I definitely think that this horse should not be 6-1. And like I said about that horse, 10 Blessings, if More Spirit was 3-1 and 10 Blessings was 6-1, I wouldn't even second guess it. And this is the reason why I think you have to get on More Spirit here. I think 6-1 is a great, great value. And like you said, Bob, off the layoff for Bob Baffert, going back route to sprint, doesn't really send out too many red flags here. And like you said, it's not a prep race. Bob Baffert believes that this horse can fit in this spot. And Bob Baffert doesn't just say, let me run for third, let me run for second. Bob Baffert's in this race to win the race. Like I mentioned before, Mike Smith wins big races. I'll say it again. Mike Smith wins big races. Now you're getting now you're getting $14 here on a horse like this. Like I said, let's go back into the other races this year. The San Felipe runs behind Gate the Wire winner Danza Candy, who Bob was going to be your Derby pick had this horse not scratched out. So I think you and I we're definitely on the same page there as far as having high hopes for that horse. Runs in the Santa Anita Derby. The track was wet, so Exaggerator, had to do his thing. Exaggerator wins. Then runs evenly in the Kentucky Derby. Do you really even count that from a handicapping perspective? The horse ran evenly. Okay, it's a Kentucky Derby.
In a field of 20. In a field of 20.
What do you expect? The horse came out of it. The horse ran evenly. What more could you want? So now this horse comes back to a track in which he hasn't missed the money out of. He has 2 wins, including a lights out maiden special weight. I think the distance hits him right between the eyes here. I really think he'll like this long 7 furlong race here. And nonetheless, the tactical speed, he's going to show more with that workout. I think he sits a perfect trip behind Sharp Azteca and maybe Awesome Banner. Mike Smith takes him around that turn, and they're coming close to home. I want this horse, especially at 6-1. So give me More Spirit, and I'm with you, Bob.
No question about it. I wanted to ask you about 2 horses, and I think the key horse in this race, and I'll ask you about this horse first. This will decide whether or not we have a chance. The 5-horse Jazzy Times. From the running lines, Andrew, it looks like this horse is fast enough to run with Sharp Azteca. The last workout, December 21st, was a very solid workout, to say the least, at 4 furlongs and 46 here, if that is correct. Is this horse fast enough to run with Sharp Azteca? And what do you think of this horse's chances of running well and possibly winning this race at a racetrack in which historically favors speed?
Without a doubt. And Jazzy Times, to me, I think could definitely pressure Sharp Azteca, and obviously that's part of the game plan here. Especially with number 9, Awesome Banner. We'll get into that one as well. But specifically more on Jazzy Times, I think this one has the ability to kind of crush Sharp Azteca on the front end. Make us get some quicker fractions here that will set it up more for our horse. As far as winning the race, I think this horse is very inconsistent. I know that I've been in a position where I've singled this horse numerous times and just tried to get through, and that was early on. And I think it's just too much inconsistency to win a race like this. But look at the pedigree here. Look at the connections here. You have a very sharp art horse here. Hopefully one day this horse figures it out, but I don't think it will be today.
Why is Awesome Banner in this race, Andrew? I just don't think this horse is good enough to be competitive here. And I say that and watch the horse shock us all and win the race. But obviously Mark Cassidy and Julian Leperoux aren't coming out here for their health. They think they have a shot. I tried to like this horse to a certain degree because of the connections in shipping the horse. I just don't see it, but wanted your thoughts on the 9, Awesome Banner.
Yeah, and I think this one it could definitely be a thorn in Sharp Azteca's side. So I think we're definitely going to need this one. I think I was watching TBG the other day, and I believe that this is, as they were saying, that this is the first horse to ever ship in from Mahoning Valley Racecourse to ever run at Santa Anita. So I thought that was pretty interesting there. And I guess, curious as to why they would be out here, Bob. I mean, if Leparoux took them out on Lightstream, and Cassie needed to put this horse in a spot, and he said, "Oh, you're out there. I'll use you, and we'll ship out here." Or maybe it was vice versa from the other trainer. I do think this is a good horse for those Gulfstream Park, races. I think this horse obviously likes the weather down there. Obviously, the only time shipping north, was last time out. So I don't think this horse really likes to ship, although he did win that last time out race. But going literally coast to coast and the weather transition might play a little too much into this horse. But nonetheless, I think we're going to need this horse to hammer Sharp Azteca on the front end.
So give us your top selection one more time.
And that's number 8, More Spirit, at 6-1.
And I am also on the 8, More Spirit, at 6-1. So that's going to do it for Santa Anita Race 8 on Monday, December 26th. It's the Grade 1 Malibu. That's Andrew Cavano. I'm Bobby Shoemaker. Good luck.
Good luck, guys.